Alrighty, welcome to the area video. We're going to start out by just looking at the different formulas for area. And remember, whenever we're on the GED test, you always get this sheet with all these different formulas, right? And if you look and there's a problem that has anything to do with area on it, you can go, oh, look at here, here's my page on area, and I got my different area formulas here, right? And as I'm looking at our practice book, I'm looking down at page 16, and that's the start of the pretest. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and open up to page 16 and take a look at that. If you need to hit pause, do. The first problem we'll look at is actually the second page of the test, page 19 here in our book, and it is number 11. Alright, so number 11, they have a picture of a rectangle. So right away you'd know, well, I better make sure I know how to find a rectangle area. And the problem says room B has the same area as room A, shown above. So shown above is room A. If room B is square, what is the length in feet of each of its sides? Alright.
Should we draw room B?
We probably should draw a room A and a room B. Good call, Sid. So I'll go and I'll draw a rectangle, which is our room A they show. And they tell us that room B is a square room, right? They say square. And instantly, this is a terrible square. It looks like a rectangle on my part, so ignore me in that, but just pretend it's a square, if you will. Alright, so they tell us that the two rooms have the same area, right? And we have a couple ways of going about this. I'm going to fill in my numbers here. Sorry about that. 1636. Right, first of all, let's just do this. Let's solve the area for the rectangular room. We remember about the formula sheet. We can go on there and find rectangle. Oh, what do you know? It says length times width. So we will do our length of 36 times our width of 16. I'm not going to longhand that. I'll calculator it. 36 times 16.
I got 576.
576 is what I get. Okay. So now we got kind of a challenge here. And we got to figure out the square thing here, the length of each side. Now in a square, we know all the sides are
compatible.
The same.
Well,
equal.
Equal. Yeah,
compatible. Are you trying to make them date? Anyhow, might as well burn on Cedric there. Alright, so they're all the same. So we don't know what our side is yet, so let's call it x by x, right? So here's what we know. We know if we take x times x, we get 576, right? Okay, x times x is the same thing as, do you remember this? X squared. So x squared equals 576. We know how to solve an x squared problem. We do the opposite of a square, which is square root. Square root. So here we gotta do both sides of the equal sign, right? And when we do that, this cancels out our square. And we're just left with x is equal to what?
24.
24. Thank you, Cedric. 24. So each side should be 24. 24 by 24. Alrighty. So we went ahead and we researched ahead a little bit. And these are the problems in the tests, in the practice tests that they give us that deal with area. But first I want to do this. Will you pause the video if you need to turn to page 172. And if you paused, welcome back. On page 172, they have information about area of squares and rectangles. And you can see that basically the idea of area is pretty well explained right there. Basically, it's like little square units. And in this case, it's a 5 by 6, and they say, well, if you got 5 inches, let's say, that means you have 6 rows, or sorry, 5 rows and 6 columns that are all made up of little squares. And that's the breakdown of it. It's easier for you just to look at it and kind of figure it out than for me to actually put it into words in this case. But that's the basic idea of it. I want to focus on this sample at the bottom of page 172. And you'll see this sometimes, something like this. And this is one where we need to figure out if we're talking about a problem that has perimeter or one that has area, because they will do either way on the test. So be aware of that. Don't automatically assume it's a perimeter or automatically assume it's area. You're going to have to read about it a little bit, you know?
Use your brain.
Thanks, Sid. In this one it says, example 3, an office suite has the shape shown below. What is the area in square feet? Alright, well you know me, Sid. I like to redraw everything.
So let's do it, Lance.
Yay, Cedric. Alright, I'm redrawing. Just trust me here. I'm trying my hardest to hold the camera halfway decent. Something like this. And here's an awesome drawing on my part. So there I drew that thing. And they have 21 right here. And they have 21 right here. And they have 35 over here. And they have 49 over here. Holy guac and moly. So to find the area of this thing,
you have to add everything up.
There's actually a few different ways to do this. You're right, we can. What did you just say? We're finding the area, Cedric. We're adding everything up. Oh man, you just want perimeter.
Oh wow. Sorry for confusing you guys.
Alright, area. There's a couple different ways. One way is we can try and figure out this missing side here and break this figure into different chunks and find the area of each chunk and then add it up. That's one way. So let's try that, okay, Sid?
Yeah.
So first of all, we're going to figure out this top part here, right?
Yep.
Well, here's what we know. We know the whole length on the bottom is 49, right?
Yes.
And we know this section here at the top says 21.
Yes.
So guess what we can do?
We can add, we can subtract.
Yep.
So we get to 21.
We can subtract 49 minus 21.
Yep.
And that will get us, if you do the math, it will get you 28. 28. So now we've got a couple pieces that we have a pretty good idea about, right? We know that this much right here. I can cut this off, let's say like this, and turn it into this one over here. This piece on the, sorry about that, the piece on the left is 21 by 21. So that's like a square, right? 21 by 21. Alright.
Yep.
The other piece then would be a 35 tall by 28 wide, right? So I'm drawing that out, and I can say it would be 35 by 28. Okay. And now I can find the area of these two pieces and add them up. Does that make sense, Sid? So you do the 21 by 21, and I'll do the other piece. Alright? You got me?
Yeah.
You do the square, I'll do the rectangle, we'll put them together later.
Okay.
So I'm doing 28 times 35 equals. And I got 980 for my piece. 980. Okay, that's the big rectangle. Cedric did 21 by 21 and got
441.
441. So we got two pieces, and when we put those together, they should add up to, what is that, 1,300 or 1,400? 1,421, am I right?
1,221.
What? You did 980 and 441? I'm not buying that.
Where's 980?
That's my big chunk.
Well, your 9 looks like a 7.
Oh, jeez, thank you. There. 980. My bad. I'm a sloppy writer. Math is my strength, not handwriting.
Alright, it's 1421.
Alright, that's what I said.
And you were right.
1421. Awesome. Okay. The other way we could do this is like this. Go back to this figure, okay? And I already did the dash lines in there, but imagine this was one big rectangle. So imagine if we could fill this in. Okay? You follow?
Yep.
Here's what we need to do then, is we would need to solve for this guy right here to know how tall this whole thing is, right?
Yes.
So what we'd need to do is figure that out. Well, we know on the right-hand side, that whole height is 35, right? Mm-hmm. And over on the left side, it's 21. Mm-hmm. So to find that missing piece, just like we did before, we would have to do 35, yes,
subtract,
minus 21, and that would get us 14, all right?
Yes.
So 14. You follow? And if what we do then is we see, oh my gosh, that's the same thing. 35, because 1421 is 35. I just actually messed up, Cedric. I didn't really have to find that, did I?
Nope.
You know why? Because I already knew the base was 49 long. I knew the height was right here, 35. Oh, I did have to find that. All right. Sorry. Once in a while I get going on this and I lose track of where I'm at. You know, it's harder with the camera.
We're sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry on his behalf.
All right. So we got this now. Here's what we got. See our little dashed area in here that I drew out?
Yep.
That's 14 by 21. Will you calculate that a second? What 14 by 21 is?
It is 294.
294. All right. Follow me. So here's what we got. This little piece right here is 294 is the area for that. So if we knew what the area of the whole shebang was, we could just subtract off that part and get our answer for the rest. You got me on that?
Yes.
So let's try it out once. What's 49 is our base times 35 high?
It is 1,715.
17 what?
1,715.
1,715. So if we subtract off 294, will you do that minus 294 a sec? We should get 1,421 again, right?
Absolutely.
And we do. So two ways to get to the same answer. It's whatever you're more comfortable with. I think most people would be more comfortable looking at it like two chunks that you break up and then add together. Imagining it as a whole piece and then subtracting off the imaginary part might be a bit much. But, you know, whatever you're comfortable with. All right. Another similar example that I'm seeing in the book is on page 173 here, the next page, in the bottom left corner. I get the feeling that's going to be a similar piece where you have to maybe chunk it out and find the area of each little chunk. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. I also want to point out the one that's right next to it over here, number 9 and 10. And what you see there looks like overlapping rectangles, correct? You see that said?
Yeah.
Number 9 and 10 down there on page 173. And a lot of times what they'll do is they will ask you what the area of a certain space is. So in this case they might ask you what's the area of the grassy area. And what we have to do there is find both areas and then subtract off the cement, right?
Yes.
And it's, again, because they're overlapping. So they've tore down Paradise to put up a cement area, apparently. So let's just run through number 9. If you want to try it right now, hit pause, give it a go and see if you can figure it out. It's not as hard as what you might think. And welcome back if you hit pause. Okay, let's see if you got this right. So we've got a bigger rectangle, if I get my words right. It's not my first video on the day, so I apologize. And it's a 150 by 250. And in the middle they have what they call a cement area. And it's like another rectangle in there. And that rectangle in there is 120 by 80. Okay. And their question for number 9 is, what is